Welcome back to the channel. As usual, I am your host, sellssi. Today I'm going to break down Coach Otto Addo's interview with the BBC, which he had just last week. After Ghana confirmed that players would be switching nationalities to play for the national team. 6 of them, including Iñaki Williams, Tariq Lamptey, and Mohamed Salisu. The BBC had a sit-down interview with him. We'll break down the important bites of this interview, where he talked about his role at Borussia Dortmund. He described it in a 3-minute answer, which describes in depth. I have not heard this anywhere before. What exactly he does at Dortmund made me appreciate Otto Addo more in a different light. He also talked about the fact that playing or being the head coach of Ghana heading into the World Cup does not give him pressure at all. He explains why in today's interview we'll look at. He talked about other things which I'll be breaking down to you as well. As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. So first of all, we'll start off from the African Cup of Nations, which Ghana had an abysmal one at that, and how he was able to motivate or talk to the players after such an abysmal tournament. Otto Addo revealed that they had a video session with the players and they had to address that first and foremost. Let's have a listen to what he said about dealing with the disappointment of such an abysmal African Cup of Nations as he took over the helm for Ghana ahead of the playoffs versus Nigeria.
Actually, we talked about the AFCON the first day. We had a video meeting. We showed them some clips from the AFCON about how to react when something negative happens, and we showed them that this is what we don't want. We don't want people to have their head down. We want people to cheer each other up, even though we make mistakes. How to react on these mistakes was very, very important for us. So this is what we showed. Surely we didn't need to push them up so much, because World Cup, there is not much to say. This sometimes, once in a lifetime moment which you get, and except Andrew Ayew, who was booked against Nigeria, it was just Jordan Ayew who had been to a World Cup. So there was no much to say for us, because everybody was motivated to use this chance. They showed it on the pitch, they showed it during the training, and they also showed it off the pitch. There were no incidents. Everybody showed discipline. After the last training, we really had a good feeling that we can succeed.
There you heard Otto Addo there explaining how he dealt with the disappointment of the African Cup of Nations with the Black Stars players, and it was quite interesting how he said they had to deal with that first and foremost, and had video clips where they showed it to the players and they explained things to them. It was quite had to be gotten out of the window, had to be discussed, and had to be moved on from there. He also described Ghana's preparations for the World Cup, combining his work at Dortmund and his work as head coach of the Ghana national team. He was asked, how does he combine the two? What is he doing as Ghana prepare for the World Cup in a couple of months' time? This is what he had to say.
For me, it's more about to delegate, because I'm not in Ghana. But, I've got very, very good staff, and we have our task list for each department. We're having Zoom meetings just to check up on the things which have been done. And the work actually as such is done by the staff. I'm also getting the highlights from the players. I don't know how to say, but on Y Scout Instant, you can get all the matches of the national teams. So the last matches of Portugal, we will have them. For us, it's very, very interesting if a team plays against Portugal and they're playing, let's say, in the same system we would like to play against them. From there, we can see what they did well or where they should have improved, and we can take it into our game. It's basically actually more time in the evening, and twice a month we're having Zoom meetings just to check up if the tasks have been done, and that's it actually.
So it's all about delegation with Coach Otto Addo. He delegates the job, the task to their various head coaches. We have 4 head coaches, including him, along with other staff. He has Zoom meetings to see the progress of work, and that is basically how he is preparing. And now he also talked about the adapting to playing for Ghana himself when he came in, talking about the new players that will be coming in. In my previous video, I talked to you about whether the players will come in only for the World Cup, and he said that he hopes that they don't come in just for the World Cup. They have to come in for more World Cups, African Cup of Nations, and because they want to be successful. He himself being such a player, he was asked how he adapted to life and how it was for the first time when he played his very first game versus Eritrea. Let's have a listen to him.
It was different, even especially in those days. But I was sure that I wanted to play for Ghana. There was no doubt. I've been going to Ghana every holidays, every vacation. My mother sent me and my sister to Ghana. We stayed there 5-6 weeks, so I have already very, very much contact with the culture, with the people. I have still have friends, a lot of friends there, family. But surely it's different if you play the heat, the quality of the pitches. Everything is different, and so yeah, it's not easy to adapt, especially if the game you mentioned. After 10 minutes, I was like trying to get breath. It was hot, and I was running with the same intensity I used to run in Europe, and it was totally different. And so I needed to adapt. And the other players told me, like, okay, here it's difficult to press when it's 35 degrees. And so I was young, I was hungry, but I had a lot of things to learn, surely.
So you had Otto Addo there. The intensity, the pressing was not like it used to be when he used to play outside. It was quite different, and he was advised in that respect and hopes that these players, he can give them that sort of support when they come in to play. It is not going to be the same as playing in Europe, playing in Africa. It's a different terrain and a different ball game altogether. On facing Uruguay, you know what happened between Ghana and Uruguay 12 years ago now, I think. He was asked whether Ghanaians are over it, and it doesn't look like we are over it. I know I'm not over it, and that would be some sort of revenge match. Let's have a listen to what he had to say on facing Uruguay in that game.
Your last group game in Qatar is against Uruguay, 12 years after the Luis Suarez handball stopped a goal and Asamoah Gyan missed the penalty just before the end of extra time, and Uruguay won on penalties and denied Ghana a place in the semi-finals. Have Ghanaians moved on from that yet or not?
No, I don't think so. Even though it's a long time ago, but it was a very sad moment, not only for Ghanaian football, also for African football. It would have been the first time where African team would have moved into the semi-finals. So for that reason, people still remember, because the chance there was unbelievable high. Now it's a totally new game. It's different. I know that people will still and always ask and compare, but for me, it's a different game.
Is it revenge?
Yeah. I know everybody wants revenge, but for us, people are making it big, and it is a big game, surely, but it's a totally different squad, totally different situation. So you can't really compare these matches with each other. We don't have to overpace in this game. This is very important. And the way we go in this game will relay on the first match against Portugal, and then we have to see how we go in that match.
You heard his response there. A lot of people are eager for that match. More people have not forgotten, because it would have been the first time an African nation would make it to the semi-final. Suarez, Asamoah Gyan, a combination of both men's actions led to us not going into the semi-final. A disappointing night for Africa in general, and it was really sad to see how it ended for Ghana. Otto Addo feels that this is a revenge match which a lot of Ghanaians have not forgotten what happened 12 years ago, are looking forward to. Now onto the pressure of the World Cup. He says he doesn't feel any pressure heading into the World Cup because of this reason.
For me, at the end, it's a football match, and pressure is something different. And the way I grew up and what I saw also in my time when I was in Ghana, we have to be clear, at the end it's sport, and pressure is something different. If you don't know what you eat the next day, and I had a lot of friends which were in that stage, this is real pressure. And even though they were in this situation, they were laughing, they were dancing. So for me, it's just a big honor to be in this position. I will try my best for us to have success, and there's nothing more, nothing less. I think in the FIFA World Rank listing, we are at the last position. I know there was a lot of pressure on that game against Nigeria, but at the end, we had nothing to lose. From where we came from, nobody expected us to qualify. We qualified. So I know that when we get to the World Cup, nobody except the Ghanaians will expect something big from us. So there's really no pressure for us. Like I said, we are at the last position of all. We're even behind, with all due respect, but behind Qatar and other nations. And so we can only win.
Yes, you heard him there. Ghana is the lowest ranked team. And apart from Ghanaians, no one really expects Ghana to do very much. Is that how you feel? I'm sure, yes, he could be right. Because a lot of Ghanaians are expectant. Aside Ghanaians, not many people outside that bracket think Ghana can do a lot. But with these new players coming in, the expectancy will rise as time goes on. Now in September, Ghana will be playing in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers along with some friendlies. That will determine how far Ghana can go and how far the support from other parts of African countries will come in. I think if everything goes according to plan, Ghana should be favorites to go far in the competition with this new plethora of players. He also talked about his role at Dortmund and Haaland. First of all, let's listen to Otto Addo's job description at Borussia Dortmund,
where you've just signed a new 3-year contract to remain as the talent development trainer. You work with young players, so you've dealt with Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, Giovanni Reina and Erling Haaland. What exactly do you do?
Actually, my job rely on four main topics. So the first topic is the talent management. We have Borussia Dortmund, we have a lot of young players. It's very, very important that we guide them and manage them well, and especially those who won't make it to the first team straight away. And for these young players, it's very important to also work with them even more than the others, and to show them a path to get to the highest level. So the management, it's all about seeing, giving them playing time. So that means like when they don't play in the first team, we have to give them playing time in our second team, and therefore we have to know when they play. And we don't want the situation to be where, let's say, the second team is playing on a Saturday, the first team is playing on a Sunday, and then a young player being in the first squad, maybe on Thursday, Friday, I surely have to speak with the first team coach. Do you think he will be in the squad or he has a chance to play? If this decision is no, it's maybe better for the young player to train with the second team on Friday and then play on Saturday with the second team, because he will be in the stands on Sunday. The second block is I do individual video analysis for each young player who's in this top talent group. We make analysis of all the games, or I make them, so that the following day I can speak with each player about their situation, positive situation, negative situation, ask them what they were thinking in this kind of situation, just to improve them. And then we document, we make documentation for that. The third block is individual training, especially with the young players, under 17, under 19, we have position-specific training, especially on the weaknesses where we have to work, because these are mostly the things what they can't do, what they don't like, and where they have to improve. And the fourth big point is meetings. So at least once a month, I try to see every player. Sometimes we meet in a group just to have a breakfast, just to have a coffee, or in the evening to watch football and meet and talk about their private life. I take 1-2 hours and we talk about each other. We laugh. I get to know the players better. I listen a lot. Surely I also talk to the, especially first team coach, to give him feedback about how the player who was not in the squad played in the second team, or sometimes the incidences, what you don't see on the pitch, like once a grandmother of a player died. So I could tell the coach, like, okay, if he's not in a good mood, it's because of that. And I think these kind of hints are good also for the first team coach, just to evaluate the situation in a proper and not to be too hard with the player. And So it's a lot of communication, and I think it's very, very important.
Yes, that was a long explanation on what exactly he does at Borussia Dortmund. I did not know this. It is intense, involves a lot, and it is a lot of work to, first of all, looking at talent, first of all, trying to understand players. It's almost doing psychology, I have to say. He almost has to try to encourage players, understand why players are down at a certain point, communicate it to the main head coach, make players who have not been selected for a particular game, give them play time with the second. It involves a lot, and this man has a lot of things on his plate. Reason why he is delegating right now when it comes to Ghana Black Stars job. It is quite intense, and I have come to appreciate his job at Dortmund much more listening to this interview. He also talked about Erling Haaland's comment on him being a Dortmund legend. He says it is an exaggeration. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, but I think people took it a little bit too serious. I don't think I'm even near the biggest legend. Surely we have a good relation, especially at the beginning where he was new. I had a lot of contact with him and a lot of points where we met and where I trained him or where we had a lot of talks. But he was one of the players I really didn't coach much because in my job description it's more about players who don't have experience in an adult team. And he came from Salzburg and played already a lot of matches. They played Champions League. So I think it's a huge exaggeration from him to call me something like this.
Yeah. Talking about Erling Haaland, quite exaggerating that there. He doesn't see himself as sort of a club legend as he was saying. Some sort of exaggeration there on that front, according to him. Well, he's always going to downplay those kind of comments, being the person he is. But Haaland said it, and he says that it is quite exaggerated on that front. He was also asked whether he wants or has prospects of being the head coach and whether he feels Ghanaian or German, especially having been born in Germany himself. Let's have a listen to what he had to say concerning that.
You were born in Germany, you grew up there. So what is your personal identity? I mean, do you feel Ghanaian mainly? Do you feel African or not?
There's a good word, actually. It's Afro-German. Yeah, I'm happy with that because this is exactly how I feel. It's very important for everybody to know that people, they don't have to decide to feel like this or that. You know, you have everything in you. And this is what you are and how you are. And
in terms of your own future, would you like to be a head coach at a major club in one of the big leagues in Europe?
Okay, first of all, I think it's very, very difficult to plan in this job. As a coach, I think it's very, very good to think in short terms. And what I can say is like, I know that I could do this, what I'm doing, for the rest of my life. And I feel very, very well to work with young players. It keeps me young myself. I learn a lot also from the players. Sometimes when we watch clips and I have this and that idea and a player gives me another idea, I also learn. They sometimes give me incredible good solutions. But surely, and this hasn't got anything to do with me, I think everybody who's interested in football would like to be a head coach maybe one day. So maybe if I ask you, you would say yes. The most important thing is that I'm very, very happy to be here in this position. I love this work with the young players and this environment here at Borussia Dortmund. So this is the most important thing for me.
So you heard Otto Addo talking about that and what it means to him. He's what? Afro-German. First time hearing that description there. And of course, he wants to be a head coach. Who doesn't want to reach the pinnacle of their career at any point in time? Quite an insightful interview from the BBC with Otto Addo, the head coach of the Ghana Black Stars. A lot I learned from the man. No pressure. I think this is how he builds up and how he manages things himself so that he doesn't get carried or become overwhelmed with the pressure. Also say that the Uruguay game is a revenge game, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to that one there. So that has been it for today. Talking about Otto Addo's interview with the BBC, in-depth analysis into why he is who he is, his job description at Dortmund, quite insightful and a whole lot more. I know you learned something because I did. I really underestimated his role at Dortmund. It's quite intense. Let me know what you think in the comments box and Ghana's chances and some of the comments on Ghana's chances at the World Cup that he put up front. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the week.